Hi guys, in this video we'll be talking about the basics of RPCs and we'll be looking at the most common functions which will be helpful in multiplayer. So without any more further ado, let's get started. And if you guys haven't joined my Discord server, make sure you do join that. Link is in the description. I'll be answering any questions that you guys have. So let's begin guys. Okay, so let's pick a starting point here. So you have created an amazing FPS game. You haven't done much. The game's good, but you've tested it on your own system and everything seems to be working fine. You create a server system and you ask your friends to join. Okay, so now you both are connected into the same lobby. That's amazing. You guys are playing a match right now. And then the round starts. You see a gun fallen on the ground. And then you tell your teammate or your friend, hey, pick this gun up. And now he seems a bit confused because he actually doesn't see any weapon fallen on the ground. Okay, so player 1 says, alright, if you can't see it, I will pick it up and I will show you how the gun works. So player 1 picks the gun up and shows him the weapon. And player 2 still seems to be a bit confused here. At this point, player 2 gets angry at him and player 1 says, okay, well, I'm going to fire the weapon for you and show it to you. And still the same. Player 2 does not see anything and player 2 gets angry and leaves the match. So now let's talk about what actually happened here. So the mistake that the creator of this game, in this case let's say it's player 1, the mistake that he did is that he did not utilize remote procedural calls and he did not replicate things in the correct way. So what happened is things that should have been seen for all the players is not. You see, this is what happens in a multiplayer game. So what happens is, let's say you host the game, or it may be a dedicated server too. You host the game and you do a certain thing, let's say you fire your weapon. Although it happens on your own computer, there is actually no way for your friends to know that you are firing your weapon. So in order to run functions, events or any other gameplay actions remotely on someone else's computer, or it could be only on the server, so in that case you would use something called a remote procedural call, which would allow you to run functions on a remote computer, as the name says, through the internet. So now in this video we'll just be going over the basics of the types of remote procedural calls and the various nodes you'll use to find out which exact machine you're trying to run your function on. And from the next video we'll be having separate videos for the server RPC, client RPC and the multicast RPC. Alright guys, I've loaded the editor. So I just cleared out the level a bit. Now in order to explain some of the most common multiplayer nodes that you'll use before we get to RPCs, I just wanted to tell you how we are going to do it. So go ahead and click on add feature or content pack and add the third person. So once you do that, you should find the third person BP, head into your blueprints and head into your third person character. So this is what we'll be using. So I'll just delete the stuff I just did. So I want to talk about few nodes here. So one is has authority, and the switch has authority is pretty much the same thing. It's just a macro, so I can open that up, and if you actually see, it's just a has authority plugged into an if. All of these functions output booleans. That's one thing in common. So is server is one more thing you'll use. Is dedicated server is one more thing that you'll use. And another thing that you might use a lot, especially for constructing widgets, is locally controlled. So we are going to be going over these things. So let's first start with switch has authority. So what this basically does is it returns authority if the current instance of the actor loaded in has authority. So generally in multiplayer games, the server is going to be having authority unless you manually set it to be client authoritative, and unless you're spawning something specifically on the client in multiplayer games, authority will usually return to the server. So let me just show you what I mean. It actually doesn't make sense to do it this way. You will understand as we use this node in the further tutorial series, and maybe when we make a game we'll be using switch has authority a lot. So if I just print a string, once again, and remember guys, when you perform a begin play, no, don't destroy that, that's the worst thing you could do. Add a delay of, let's say, about a second. This is because even if the actor has successfully spawned on the server, it does not mean that it spawned on the client. There will be a bit of delay till the packets reach the client, and as we saw in the presentation previously, it's a remote computer, so things will not be instantaneous. It will depend on the person's internet speed. So now if I just print authority, now if I just print remote, if I go ahead and press play, server authority, client remote. So let me just explain the sequence what we just saw here. So if I can get my output log here, so window, and I should be having the output log somewhere here. Yeah, output log. So if I just look in here, you see it printed authority on the server and it printed remote on the client twice. I'll be telling you guys why as well, and we should be seeing one more authority on the server here. Yeah. So let me explain the sequence what happened. So first, initially we started the game. Okay. When we started the game, this client was not yet connected to this session. So what happened is, since we called this on begin play, the server immediately printed authority, because the server of course has authority over the object, so it printed authority. Then what happened is, once the client connected, the client character, okay, I'm referring to this character that I'm controlling. Okay, I shouldn't have done that, but I'm referring to this character here, this one. So what happens is, here once the server spawned this character, it printed authority, and then once the client was initialized, it actually printed authority for this character that it's controlling and this character. Since this is a multiplayer game, each player's computer has to spawn an object of each other's character or anything that's replicated. That's actually the fundamental principle on which multiplayer games work. So that is basically how it's done. So both the server and the client have one object spawned of each other's characters. So that's basically how things are being replicated over here. So now let's head back to our character blueprint. So let's just delete that. Enough explanation for that. And the next thing that we will talk about is server. So let's say I wanted to run something only on the server. So let's say you're spawning a weapon. When the player spawns, you do it only if this is a server, and you would mark that object as replicated so that it does appear on the client as well. As we saw in the switch has authority node, no matter what you do, if you just run the spawn event directly off of begin play, it's going to call it twice. One on the server instance of this particular character and one on the client instance, and as you get more and more players, it's going to call it those many number of times, so please don't do that. So if it is the server, so first of all we'll print a string, and if you see, it prints two strings. So when this character was spawned, it printed a string, and when this is spawned, it printed a string. So now if we just go ahead and if we can spawn a weapon, we'll have like functions for that. So you could run this off of that and it'll run just fine, and it'll be replicated correctly since it's being spawned on the server. And is dedicated server just returns if it's a dedicated server. We'll be using that while creating sessions. And guys, if you want that series of creating an entire game as well as talking about sessions and stuff, make sure you are subscribed. Currently, due to UE5 being in early access, there are a few issues, so I don't want to do it right now, and I don't think it's the correct decision to do it. So So I'll be waiting till it goes into production, then we'll be starting with the step-by-step game creation series. So once that's done, now let's talk about locally controlled. So it's best explained with an example again. So if I just print a string again over here, is locally controlled, it's going to return hello once on the server and once on the client. So the hello which was printed on the server was for this character. This particular object on the server instance of it printed hello. Whereas this one on the client instance of it printed hello. And it makes proper sense, right? You're controlling this particular character on the client and hence it prints hello on the client. So let's say I wanted to spawn a crosshair. A very common mistake that people do is just go ahead, type in custom event, create crosshair maybe. I won't be doing the functionality, I'll just show you the mistakes. So we'll just create a widget or something. The common mistake that people do is we are going to set this to client RPC. We will be talking about RPCs in the future videos in particular. I'll just mention about these after I finish this. So run on owning client and create crosshair. But you'll soon notice the problem here. So if I just print a string, type in hello, you see what happened there? So what basically happened is it basically created multiple crosshairs on the client. This won't be noticed immediately, but let's say you have a dynamic crosshair, you'll immediately start seeing it, because in fact this is actually reading the speed of a particular character. So if the other character does not move, the crosshairs spread is going to be wrong, hence the entire system is going to be a huge error. So to avoid that, what you can do is call this on is locally controlled. Actually we don't even need the remote procedural call here, you can just have it over here. It's just for just being extra redundant here to be safe. You can run an RPC and call in hello, and if you would see, let's say we are spawning a widget, it's going to spawn the crosshair on the client and one on the server, which makes total sense. So now let's talk about the three types of remote procedural calls. So I just duplicated the events over here. So I'll call this server RPC, call this multicast RPC, and then I'm going to call this client RPC. Please note that running these things off of Begin Play is not an ideal solution, since this Begin Play runs on each client as soon as this character is spawned. So please do not do that mistake, and I'll talk about reliable soon. So basically what reliable does is it just makes sure that that action actually happens. So it actually verifies it. So let's say I have like a particle effect, which you usually use multicast for, you wouldn't have reliable on. But something that affects gameplay, let's say applying damage or something, in that case you would actually have reliable on. So let's talk about these three RPCs in brief. So if you have to run anything on that particular player itself, the one you're referring to, so let me just type in left mouse button and I'll just hook up a print string on each one of these and print hello. I'll just be showing you guys the results, but I'll be explaining it in the further videos. Now if I play, let's just wait for the client to initialize. Now if I left click, the server prints hello. Now if I left click again, the client prints hello. And that's because we actually haven't hooked anything up. So let's just call the client RPC. So now if I go ahead and left click, the server calls hello, and here the client calls hello, which is exactly what you would expect. And for the server RPC, no matter what you do, it's going to print hello on the server. So let me just show you that. So left click, even on the client it's going to print hello on the server. And talking about the multicast RPC, this is something which will probably confuse you, and we will get to that in the future videos, as I told you. RPC, and if I press play, you notice something really weird. So I click on the client and it prints hello. I click on the server, it prints hello on both the server as well as the client. So basically what it's doing is, if it's the server, it can connect to each one of the clients. So what it does is it actually runs the function or the event on each one of the clients as well as on itself. So that's basically how multicast RPC works. We will get to that in the future videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope this was informative. If you guys haven't joined my Discord yet, please make sure you do join it. I'll be answering any and all questions there, and see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye.